Influence, a brand new series, amazing new titles, fantastic new sets, same old presenters.
We're hot though, Andy.
We are.
And so is the Bad Influence review panel. Our main review today is Donkey Kong on the Super Game Boy.
No more typing.
Finish him!
We ought to get to grips with the long-awaited for Mortal Kombat 2.
And I've come to Laguna Beach in California to meet the creator of the most exciting video game this year, Earthworm Jim.
Hello, slimy turtlers, and welcome to my new show, my new home in the basement, and my new job as Chief Techie Turtler to the stars. And you'll be excited to know you can now join the Namrood fan club. Just send a postal order for £57 to Namrood, Turtler to the stars, the basement, Bad Influence. And by return of post, you'll get a Turtling anorak, a signed photo of me, and a copy of the Namrood CD-ROM. So, while I'm waiting for all the letters to come pouring in, here's a cheat to be getting on with. It's for skitching on the Mega Drive. On the warning screen, press B-A down A and start twice. Then, on the password screen, enter Liberty, and you'll start racing in New York. Hey! Oh, my first fan letter. Dear Nam, you are sad and pathetic, and I wouldn't join your fan club even if you paid me. Love, Mum.
You put me down for life membership. Right, we start the new series with a major breakthrough in games technology. You can now play Tetris in colour. It's all to do with this new bit of kit here. It's called the Super Game Boy, which allows you to play your Game Boy games through the SNES. Dead simple to use. Take your cartridge out, pop the new cartridge in here, slot the whole thing into the SNES, and then the Super Game Boy expands the game to fit your TV and gives it colour as well. How do you make a black and white game into colour? Well, if you look very carefully at your Game Boy games, you'll see that they're not actually black and white. They're 4 different shades of grey, and what the Super Game Boy does is allocate a different colour for each of those particular shades. And it's interesting to see how they come out. You've seen Tetris. This is Super Mario Land. This is Goal. This is Zelda, which is a bit green. And this is Kirby's Pinball Land, which I think looks quite funky, actually. But what if you don't like the colours that the computer selects for you? Well, you can change them. If you just press left and right together on the controller, you can get to this colour palette down the bottom of the screen, and there are lots of different selections that you can have. Each of these 8 selections has 4 palettes, and the 4 palettes have 4 colour options, so there are 32 different options. You can also doodle on it as well if you like, because there's a little paint package here over the side. So by selecting a crayon and a colour, you can draw all around the edge of your game. All very impressive, but is it worth 50 quid? Well, our games panel certainly thought so, but personally, if I had 50 quid to spare, I think I'd spend it on a new game for my SNES.
On the other hand, there are quite a few excellent Game Boy games around, and it's great to be able to see them properly. Some Game Boy games are being written specifically with the Super Game Boy in mind, and this is one of the first, Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong is the original video game veteran, having first appeared in the arcades in 1981. In the 1994 version of this puzzly platformer, Mario has to rescue the helpless Pauline, whoever she is, and the game has a massive 104 levels. Not bad for a 25 quid game, but is it as fun to play as the original? Here's Alex.
This is a smart puzzle game. The first 4 levels are a bit dull. Once you get through them, things improve dramatically. I'm into the main body of the game now, and this is where the puzzles get a lot more exciting. You can do a really snazzy move on this washing line. If you press up, you spin round and round, and then I can get onto the level above. There's loads of things to do, loads of bonuses to collect. The thing I'm going for is that key. Oh, I missed it. You can pick up the bin, kill the pigs, that's loads of fun. This is a bonus level, which really varies the gameplay. This is a fruit machine. What you've got to do is stop the wheels and get the same symbols, and then you win extra lives. I've got nothing. Oh, 1 up. This is a star game, and it looks even better on the Super Game Boy. I'm hooked.
I love it. The puzzles are great, and the monkey's real cute, too.
This is the game to have. It's nearly perfect.
And so the final scores for Donkey Kong. Both the boys and the girls gave it a maximum 5 out of 5.
Our panel is made up of expert games players who, unlike the journalists who write reviews for the magazines, actually buy games. Now, the mark given by the panel mainly reflects one aspect of the game, and that's playability, or, if you like, the fun factor. Under our new system, Tetris would get a 5. The graphics and sound couldn't be simpler, but it's addictive to play. On the other hand, the beautiful-looking microcosm on the Mega CD would get a 1. Driving a craft that you have very little control over through various similar internal passages is about as much fun as helping Namrud catalogue his anorak collection. The reason for this emphasis on playability is that nowadays, with all the new hardware around, it's virtually impossible to write a bad-looking and sounding game. It still takes talent, though, to come up with excellent and exciting and fresh ideas. And in this week's American report, Z Wright met one of the best games producers in the world.
I've come to Southern California on an important mission to track down the famous games producer, David Perry. He's British. He programmed 2 major hits of the last 2 years, Cool Spot and Aladdin. And he set up his new company, Shiny Entertainment, right here in Laguna Beach. And this is Shiny's first game, Earthworm Jim. Jim is not like other superheroes. He's an earthworm. And this is Dave Perry. He's not like other games programmers. He's very tall.
Look, man, California rule number 1.
Goodness.
You don't wear your new training shoes on the beach.
And I was only walking that close to the water because the director told me to. When Dave was at Virgin, he invented a new programming technique called Digicel. It's Digicel that gives the characters in Aladdin their famously fluid feel. Earthworm Jim takes the technique one stage further with a process called Animotion.
Basically, Animotion, instead of drawing our graphics just using the computer, we've gone back to the old-fashioned way of drawing everything by hand, so we use real animators.
It seems such a good idea to get Dave to explain Animotion on the basketball court. Only problem is, how do you get them to stop playing? As Dave attempted to explain, Animotion means you never have to type numbers into the computer again. All the drawings can be done by hand, the old-fashioned way, on transparent cells. The cells can then be digitized into the computer. The original story for Earthworm Jim was drawn as a cartoon comic strip. It tells how Jim was quietly doing earthwormy things when a cybernetic spacesuit fell on top of him, and he couldn't get it off. The suit controls him and forces him to play the role of superhero. Now he's stuck with saving the planet from weird and wonderful baddies, including his arch-rival, Cyclone.
The good thing about being an earthworm is the earthworm, you can actually use the head as an extra arm, which lets you fire in all directions while traveling. This level's called Snot Problem. The reason is you're finding a guy called Major Mucus over a big pool of snot. The object of it is to actually push him into the walls and rip the slime off him. The other thing is we have this drippy creature at the bottom, which is trying to bite you in half. There we go. Okay, then Earthworm Jim heads underwater. He goes down the tube. We have things like these large cats protecting the tubes. And you have to, the only way to avoid them is to jump up, lift your bottom out of the way, and drop back down again. They're a bit stupid, you see.
You
but
can't shoot them?
they're also very tough, so if they get a hold of you,
Ooh,
you beat the daylights out of them. The puzzle is very simple. You see this little creature and you think, I wonder how you get past this, and try whipping it and shooting it, and he beats you senseless. All you need to do is go and get yourself a hamster out of the hole, and jump on its back, and then bite the creatures.
Earthworm Jim is going to take over the world next year. As well as a range of figures and toys, he'll have his own cartoon TV series. Oh, and of course, next year's big game, Earthworm Jim 2.
Great looking game, exclamation mark. Go to sleep. This is the first word processor that you can talk to. It's taken 20 years to develop, and it's called Dragon Dictate. It's pretty impressive. It can recognize up to 60,000 words, and once you've spent several hours training it to recognize your voice, it can do some pretty impressive stuff. When I want the microphone to switch on and off, I have to keep saying, wake up and go to sleep. This is so that the computer doesn't get confused between when I'm talking to it and when I'm talking to you. So here we go. Wake up. Dear Violet, comma, new paragraph. How are you? Question mark. Go to sleep. Well, so far so good, but as you know, there are words in the English language which sound the same but mean completely different things and are spelt differently. See if the computer can cope with that. Wake up. It's not a knot. Go to sleep. See, the computer knew that in the context of that sentence, the second knot should be spelt K-N-O-T. So I'm ready. I've spent hours talking to it. It's learned my voice. I reckon I'm ready for anything.
You said it, Andy, so stand by for the ultimate challenge. Meet Justine, the fastest office angel in the north. And I'm going to give you each a bit of text, and neither of you have seen it before. It's the first to finish the text. So,
wake up.
On your marks, get set.
New paragraph.
So Justine is off to a flyer. Andy plodding behind it.
Fastest.
Mind you, Justine is 90 words a minute.
Achieve.
Don't think Andy's doing quite that.
100.
10 words a minute, maybe?
And
who knows?
76.
Come on, Andy. Finish. Oh, and that is it, which means
April.
Prize for Justine. Congratulations.
59.
Andy.
At Dixon.
Still waiting for all the fan letters to come streaming in. Well, while we're waiting, here's another cheat. It lets you skip levels on Zool 2 on the Amiga. On the intro screen, type in Bumblebee, B-L-E-B-E, and the screen flashes like that, so you know that it's worked. Then when you start the game, you can jump from level to level by pressing return. There's all sorts of ways to contact the Namrood fan club. Snail mail, electronic mail, and of course, carry a hedgehog. Thank you, Spiky. Whoa. Dear Mr. Rude, once again, the BBC would not be interested in a programme about anorak collectors. Please do not write to us again.
The computer game season was officially pronounced open this week, with not only the return of your favourite TV show, but also the most important computer games event of the year, the European Computer Trade Show. Anyone who was anyone was there, and so was Violet, who found herself strangely drawn to the hardware.
Philips have relaunched the CDI with a new lighter box, a cheaper price, and a funny-looking controller. Like the 3DO, they're still concentrating on a range of different CDs. At the moment, they're particularly concentrating on games, with the excellent-looking Burnside coming out at the end of October. Hitting the shops at last is a 3DO, as well as games that play audio CDs, photo CDs, and, with an attachment that will come out later, video CDs. At around 400 quid, it's not cheap, but it does come with a game. It's Total Eclipse. This is the PlayStation, well, the next generation of super consoles. The Japanese are going to get it in December, but we're going to have to wait until the end of 1995. There aren't any games developed for it at the moment, and programmers are going round and round in circles trying to get some ready. Some say home virtual reality is going to be the next big thing. There are quite a few different headsets coming out in the near future. This one, the snappily titled VFX1, costs a whopping 650 quid. Mind you, you can plug it into the PC and play top PC games like Inferno. As 16-bit computers like the Amiga and the Atari ST fade away, the PC goes from strength to strength. This monster is the absolute latest PC. It's called the Pentium, and this game, Magic Carpet, is one of the first games specifically designed to run on it. It's amazing. The last word from this show is emulator. That's a nifty bit of kit that makes one machine act like another. Now, this PC has already got a 3DO emulator slotted into it, which means you can go straight from the boring stuff to playing Road Rash. You never know who you're going to come across at shows. This is a games mag from the Czech Republic. So does that mean you get bad influence from the Czech Republic?
Yeah, I think bad influence is so popular, so our magazine is calibrated.
Brilliant. Who's your favourite? Is it Andy?
No.
Is it me?
I think no.
Who is it then?
This guy.
Oh no! I think Namrood is an international superstar. Well, in the Czech Republic anyway.
And now for some more games reviews. This is Jungle Book for the SNES, which is also being released on the Mega Drive and Game Boy. The man-cub Mowgli is making his merry way back to the village, a journey which involves flinging bananas at everything that moves. There are 12 beautifully animated levels, and the soundtrack is excellent. But what's it like to play? Here's Sarah.
This is exactly what you expect from a Disney spin-off. It looks and sounds great, but there aren't many surprises in the gameplay. The first time you see each level, you're just so amazed because it looks so good. But the more you play, the more you get bored because you basically just keep bouncing around, killing and collecting things. Here on one of the levels, which is brilliant, you have to try and kill the end-of-level baddie, which is Car the Snake. You just have to keep aiming for his head because you can't escape his gaze, he just keeps killing you. You can't fault this on looks, but the gameplay leaves a bit to be desired.
It's fun to play and it looks tops. What more do you want from a platform game?
The picture's great, but after a while I got a bit bored.
And the scores for Jungle Book. The girls gave it an average 3 out of 5, but the boys went one better, 4 out of 5.
Look out, Street Fighters. There are 4 new challenges to your crown. Super Street Fighter 2 for the Mega Drive features DJ, T-Hawk, Fei Long, and a British girl called Cammy, who incidentally is played by Kylie Minogue in the upcoming movie. There are some new moves for the old characters, and new modes like Time Challenge, which tests your speed as well as your fighting skill. But apart from these minor tweaks, it all looks rather familiar. By the way, you should shop around if you're going to buy this one. The recommended price is 60 quid, but you can get it for less than 45 in some shops. Here's the hail.
For £60, I was expecting more in the way of new improved bits, but the new characters are fun to experiment with. Cammy is easily my favourite of the new characters. She's really agile and she's got some brilliant moves. There, the cannon drill. The animation in this game is absolutely brilliant, but the speech isn't up to much. Most of the attention's gone on Cammy. It's a shame the other characters aren't as good as her. This is Thunderhawk. He's huge and really slow. He's quite difficult to control. He plays a bit like Zangief. You've got to give this 4 for playability because it's such a classic game, but it's not worth getting if you've got the original.
A great game. It's one you'll keep coming back to.
The new characters are pretty similar to the old ones.
And the scores for Super Street Fighter 2, the girls gave it an above average but less than perfect 4 out of 5, and so did the boys.
That's not good. Hello, slimy furtlers. I think all my fan letters must be being wrongly delivered to my assistants Andy and Violet. If I can just get this lift to work, I'll be able to go and collect them. There, that should do it. Right, just time for an impressive cheat before I go and read my massive fan mail. It's for Super Empire Strikes Back on the SNES. On the start game screen, enter XBBYXAAX, and you'll be able to access all the special force powers by starting the game, pressing select, and choosing with L and R. There you go. Elevation! Whee! And talking of elevation, time for me to go upstairs. Right, some reading, I think. 3rd floor. Hey, here we go. Can't wait to see all these. Andy! Violet!
Now, unless you've had your head in a boxing glove for the last year, you'll know that tomorrow sees the release of Mortal Kombat 2. Baraka and Raiden are 2 of the characters of Mortal Kombat 2. Guys, welcome to Bad Influence. So, why did they choose you?
Raiden doesn't need an invitation.
Oh, that's what I'm glad we've got that sorted out. Mortal Kombat is just one of the latest games to use digitization. So, apart from standing in front of a blue screen, what else did you have to do?
In order to learn the secret of the blue screen, you must go at it with a round with me and Baraka.
Best of 5. And now it's time for this week's competition. The prize is a SNES, a Super Game Boy, and copies of Donkey Kong and Tetris 2. And the question is, in which country was the original Tetris created? Phone in your answers on 0891 555 999. Calls will cost no more than 25p, but make sure you get permission from whoever pays the phone bill. Lines will close at midnight on Monday.
10 runners up will get the fantastic new Bad Influence t-shirt. It's better than sleep. But remember, you can't win if you don't get permission.
That's about it this week. Excuse me? And you? We'll finish with more clips of Mortal Kombat 2, which we'll be reviewing properly next week, and we'll see you then.
Bye-bye.
Bye.